Have you ever been scrolling through YouTube and just had that sinking feeling that it's all getting worse? That your feed is just getting clogged with all this low-effort, kind of nonsensical stuff? Well, you are definitely not alone. So the big question is, why? Why does this so-called garbage content seem to be winning the war for our eyeballs?
Okay, let's just dive right into it, starting with this quote from a creator over on Reddit. And man, this just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that frustration that so many of us, whether we're making videos or just watching them, are feeling right now. This isn't just in your head. It is a very real, shared experience.
And look, this isn't just some vague complaint. It's a real, baffling paradox that creators face every single day. You've got one person spending weeks, maybe months, scripting, shooting, and editing this perfect 7-minute recipe, only for people to click away in seconds. And then someone else films a surf cam on their laptop for 10 seconds, and it gets 20,000 views. It makes no sense, right? So what is going on here?
To get to the bottom of this mystery, we have to look at our first suspect. And it might not be who you think. It's not a person, it's not even YouTube itself. It's us. Or, to be more specific, it's our own brains and what they've been trained to want.
There's this term floating around for a lot of this content, brain rot. And it's pretty fitting. This stuff isn't designed to make you think or feel deeply. Nope. It's engineered for one thing: to give you a quick, easy hit of dopamine with almost zero mental effort. It keeps us scrolling, passively consuming, without ever really engaging our brains. So here's the crucial twist: the psychology behind why this works. Our brains often mistake low effort for authentic. A super polished, slick video, that can feel like a big corporation talking at you. But a raw, messy, unedited video of someone just talking in their car, that feels like a friend talking with you. That imperfection, that messiness, it signals a kind of honesty that builds trust in a way that perfect production just can't.
And what's wild is that this is not some new internet age problem. The media theorist Neil Postman basically called this whole thing way back in 1985. He argued that the medium of television itself would eventually push aside serious, thoughtful conversation in favor of pure entertainment and spectacle. Sound familiar?
All right, let's move on to our second suspect. Because it's not just our psychology at play, we have to follow the money. We have to look at the economic engine that drives this entire machine.
For the vast majority of creators, the financial reality on YouTube is, well, pretty grim. The whole system is built to reward sheer volume. When you might only be making a couple of bucks for every 1,000 views, the only path to actually making a living is to get millions and millions of them, over and over again. It creates this constant, relentless pressure to just pump out more content, faster. It's a race to the bottom for our attention.
But our brains and the platform's economics are only two pieces of the puzzle. The biggest culprit, the real puppet master here, is the one we can never truly see: the algorithm. What does this mysterious black box actually want?
So, YouTube's system basically works in two big steps. First, something called candidate generation dives into the endless ocean of videos and pulls out a few hundred that it thinks you might like. Then, a second model, the ranking model, looks at that smaller list and scores them, trying to predict which one you are most likely to actually click on and watch.
Now, if you ask YouTube, here's the story they'll tell you. Back in 2016, they put out this statement saying that just ranking videos by who clicks on them promotes clickbait, and that instead, they were going to focus on watch time to measure what people are genuinely engaged with. Sounds pretty good, right?
Well, here's the kicker. A big academic study from 2023 looked at the data and found the complete opposite. Despite what YouTube says, the evidence shows that getting the click-through rate, or CTR, is way more important for getting views than actually keeping someone watching. In other words, the shiny wrapping paper is more important than the gift inside.
And this table just lays it out perfectly. It shows how the algorithm defines quality, and it has nothing to do with truth or substance. It's all about metrics. Click-through rate is just how good your packaging is. Average view duration rewards you for super fast hooks to keep people around for just a few seconds longer. The result is a system that is practically built to reward content that is sensational and irresistible, not necessarily good or valuable.
So what happens when you throw all of this into a blender? A system that rewards clicks, rewards volume, and rewards that raw, authentic feel above everything else? Well, you get the logical and frankly deeply bizarre conclusion.
Get this, a recent study created a brand new YouTube account just to see what the algorithm would feed it. The result?
Over 20%, 1/5 of the first 500 videos it was recommended, were what researchers are now calling AI slop.
And it makes total sense why this is happening. AI can game the algorithm's hunger for volume at a scale no human could ever dream of. I mean, look at this. A human creator might work for weeks to put out a few videos a month. These AI channels are spitting out dozens of videos every single day. They're just flooding the zone.
And when we say slop, we are not kidding. We are talking about a totally bizarre fire hose of content. Fake true crime docs about murders that literally never happened. AI shorts of floods set to calming rain sounds. Inaccurate history videos. And, yes, videos of Will Smith eating spaghetti. It's all designed for one thing and one thing only: to trick the algorithm into giving it views.
So, after looking at our three main suspects, our brains, the money, and the algorithm, what's the final verdict? Well, the system isn't broken. It's working exactly the way it was designed to.
You have these three powerful forces, all crashing into each other. Our brain's desire for it feels authentic, an economic system that demands endless volume, and an algorithm that cares more about clicks than anything else. Together, they create this perfect storm, a feedback loop where the cheapest, rawest, most sensational content isn't just a fluke, it's the feature.
And again, it just comes back to what people like Neil Postman saw coming. He talked about how TV news created this jarring worldview with the phrase, "now this." You know, you'd have a story about a horrible tragedy, and then the anchor would say, "now this," and cut to a happy car commercial. Well, today's feed, where we can swipe from a war zone to a dumb prank in half a second, is that idea on hyperspeed. And all of this leaves us with one final, really important question. If the entire digital world is being designed to reward passive scrolling and spectacle, then the real fight isn't on the platform. It's inside our own heads. As Postman argued, the most powerful choice we have is deciding what we give our attention to and making the conscious effort to seek out substance in a sea of slop.